DeviantArt and Acus Portal. 1 ARI 0901 SREI and ARI Story Series. When I see and read these stories, I see stories that are, not only long, but stories that can be as weird, and crazier than any other story, that is similar in tone. I mean when ARI 0901 puts REI and ARI into situations that even makes you, as a reader/viewer, wonder what madness we're about to see, or guess what's going to happen next. It shows that ARI 0901 is doing their job right. Because, at the end of these stories, you're still guessing as to what you just read and saw. Now, if I was in ARI 0901's shoes, the next step I would take with REI and ARI, is the inanimate object route. The reason I would take this route, is because 1. It's a lot easier to render with the software that ARI 0901 has. 2. Since in the story, the girls get off on ultimate submission, why not go the inanimate object route? 3. It would allow for more possibilities, like the girls each having a turn at becoming the other's clothing, or bed, or dresser, or whatever inanimate idea comes to mind. And 4. It would help keep things fresh, but still weird enough for the viewers/readers to enjoy. But overall, these are definitely stories you should check out over at ARI 0901's DeviantArt page. 2. MR Internetman's Mystic Makeover Story Series/Webcomics. With these stories/webcomics, I see something different happen all the time. Whether it's Veronica/Demo Nica having some fun by herself, which could go for about 6 to 12 pages. Or it's the fun she is indeed having, ending with her splitting herself into 2 or 3 women, and the comic ending on them about to go hardcore LGBTQ on themselves, in other words, Veronica making out with herself. Or it's her crossing over or bringing in a new female friend, that either results in a fusion, mostly with the character Exotica/Rebecca, or liquid play, that causes an unexpected fusion, like with minor alterations Ruby Walker character. It always seems that there is something different, when he creates these mystic makeover stories/comics for us to enjoy. Now, if I was in MR Internet Man's shoes, the next step I would take, would go for a straight up mystic makeover melting/liquid comic/story. The reason I would do this, is because, in one of the more recent pictures he uploaded onto his DeviantArt page, he basically kind of teased that. And in addition to that, we know based on the collab crossover he's had with Minor Alterations character Ruby Walker, in their story series, based on his character, Demo Nica, we know she likes to do that, and has become more encouraged to do it more often, thanks to Ruby's obsession with it. So, for me, this would logically be the next step for a mystic makeover webcomic. Now the question would be, how many pages should it be? For something that would be basically Veronica/Demo Nica having fun, erotic/NFSW, maybe, melting down into a liquid puddle and having all kinds of crazy fun with it. I would say, perhaps a 14-page webcomic/story would do the trick. I mean, at 14 pages, it gives you more than enough space to work with and allow Veronica/Demo Nica to have all kinds of liquid/melty fun. But, like above about ARI 0901, MR Internetman's stories over at DeviantArt, are stories, you should definitely check out. 3. Grobulk Stories. Now Grobulk, has been known, here at but mostly at Acus Portal, for sharing his stories. Stories, that usually deal with unbirth, or any kind of soft style like vor out there. He's also been known to doing slime girl stories, that involve a character being vored by a futa girl or a girl's private region, and thus transforming to a cum slime girl, and his recent story is proof of that. However, if I were in Grobulk's shoes, the next step for me, would be to do Slime Girl sequel story to his most recent one. Within this story, I would have the 2 slime girls fuse into one slime girl, have the fuse girl absorb all her girls into her body via futa vor, or private region vor, or even breast vor. Then, after they are absorbed, have them press their faces, hand, and feet in imprint/visage fashion, and have them pretend that they either part of the fuse girl now, or they are spirits of the fuse slime girl's belly or futa balls region. But, besides that, I do recommend you check out Grobulks at Acas, Gumroad, and even Amazon as well. 4 Antzazer's Moffica Stories. Just like MR Internet Man's Mystic Makeover series with his demo NICA character, Antzazer's Morphica character is basically the same way. Her stories are very much the same, to a point. The only difference is Veronica becoming demo NICA is of mystical magic, while Karen becoming is more based on science. But besides that, their characters pretty much have the same abilities. Now, if I was in Antzazer's shoes, the next step in a story would be, to have Morphica go all out with powers. And what I mean by going all out, is have her use a full 3-day weekend, to really let loose. Letting loose, as in, melting, evaporating, bubbling, turning into all kinds of crazy things, like fruit, plants, inanimate objects, etc. To me, that would the next step I would take, when it would come to a new Morphica story, if I was in Antzazer's shoes. Anyway, the reason I decided to type this up, was to kinda explain, from a reader/viewer's point of view, of what the next steps I would honestly take, when it comes to making some new stories for these characters. But in the end, I do recommend checking them all out over at DeviantArt, Acas Portal, Gumroad, and even Amazon. Because these are stories, I know, will definitely get your attention. Thanks for reading. BVW 1979